Where are the low value men? Like, what are all the low value men up to during these trying times? Because the high value men, I know they're around. They won't shut the fuck up. Low value men, I have not heard a word out of. I'm starting to think I'm on their side. I think I want one of those. I want a low value man. They don't make podcasts. I haven't seen one low value man make a podcast. Do they not know how to use microphones? Maybe that's a good thing. That's hot. All right, I've never seen a man use a microphone for good.
Until now, everybody buckle up. It's low value mail time with your host, Danny Polishchuk. Oh, welcome back, everybody, to an all-new episode, a whole brand new year of low value mail on this January 3rd, 2023, in the year of our Lord, still my Lord, still our Lords and Lords. How are we doing tonight, everybody? Welcome back. I don't know if you can tell, sorry, I started about a minute late. One of my New Year's resolutions was be on time. It actually wasn't, but I started late because I don't know if you can tell, but this stream is now in 2K. Before it was in 1K. Now we're in double the Ks. So it's all flimmets. It's entirely flimmets. You know what it is. I don't know if anybody even notices, but I wanted to make it look a little better. And so I've been at the studio for the last 2 hours, and then I went to go hit the old button to the old fire up button. It's actually a crank. I have to crank it. And then I looked at all these other things. I go, oh, I haven't done certain things that needed to be done in terms of settings. They were all like corner of the screen. So anyways, 1440p, which is 2K. I wanted 2K is the resolution. So there's 1080p. That's 1K. That's high definition. Then it's then there's 2K, which is what you could be watching it in right now. And then there is 4K, which I tried to do, but I cannot do that because I know some people watch us on a TV. I know you watch us like as a TV show on your TV, and I can't do 4K because the max our internet goes is not fast enough. I was testing it for the last couple hours, and 4K it just. No bueno. Spectrum does not allow it. There are lightning fast New York City 15 megabits per second upload speed does not allow it. So, but hopefully, in the near future, I'll have a new studio and we'll have better internet. So that is one of our goals. And speaking of which, the topic for tonight's show, as voted by you, the people. So, of course, if you don't know, supporters of the show, whether it's patreon.com/lowvaluemail, over on Locals, YouTube. If you're one of the YouTube channel members, you get to vote on the topics. Not always, but pretty decent amount. And this was what won the vote. So we're doing 2023, starting off the year with predictions for 2023 and your resolutions / I guess your goals. And you know what I'm interested in? Because I'm like myself and my pal Ryan from the Boys Cast, I've always been into like, you know, this kind of like Tim Ferriss and our boy Chris Williamson and like lifestyle design and, you know, all the little tips and tricks. So I bet some of you probably have some pretty good tips and tricks about, because generally the people who are into this stuff are fairly smart. So I'm sure some of you have some good tips and tricks about accomplishing your goals. And, you know, thrusting yourself from that negative value life into that low value life. So welcome to the show, low value people, negative value people, the scrotes, everybody, the high value folks, should they exist. As always, please like the stream. It helps. Subscribe, all that stuff. I've tried to think of better ways to say this that aren't the same as every other YouTuber, but that's all there is. No need to church it up. So like, subscribe. I'll give away 100 at 100 likes. I'm going to give away a channel membership as I always do. And if you're listening to this on Spotify, Apple, whatever that stuff, leave a review, leave a rating. It helps. And as always, after the show, 11 p.m. tonight, after show, which you can, after show at 11 p.m., which you can access via Patreon or all the other things. $5 a month. I think it's worth it. I don't know. And then tomorrow night, we're back with the Bathhouse, 10 p.m. So we missed last week because I fucked up my schedule. I went to a Fish concert. I absolutely riddled my body with drugs and alcohol the past week. I'm starting off the year on a pretty bad foot, to be honest. I went to the gym yesterday. I was like, let's get back into it. Legs, starting off the year with a nice little leg day. Go to do some hamstring curls and pop. Hear a pop, which you do not want to hear. Pop, if you listened to the female dating strategy stream yesterday, which was quite the banger, if I might say so myself. I heard a little pop in the old hammy, so I'm instantly on the disabled list. But it's not like a full tear, thankfully. So I don't think I'm gonna need any kind of like surgery or anything, but it sucks. Got a noticeable limp, but we'll be back. We shall be back. But anyways, it's a bummer. So let's get down to it. For the predictions and goals for the year, and then I got a couple things I'm going to talk about. And you know what? Before we get started, let's get to some voicemails. I have a couple voicemails that I would like to give a listen. And also, if you caught or if you didn't catch, there's a 2022 Low Value Mail year in review that streamed all day on New Year's Day. It was over 6 hours, and a lot of you were there for a lot of the time. I was in and out of the chat and consciousness. So let's listen to a couple voicemails that we got. These are pre-January 1st. These are from last week. Let's give her a listen. The first one's from our boy Glock.
Hey, buddy, it's Glock from South Carolina. You know, I have an interesting comment about that, the Aryan Brotherhoods and whatnot. There's actually was a super high-ranking member of the Aryan Brotherhoods in the federal prison system that was Jewish. He literally had a Star of David tattooed on his shoulder, and then he had a swastika, Swazi, on the other fucking side. So, you know, it's one of them crazy asses in there.
Yeah, so that was in response to what I was talking about last week about I was listening to some prison dude and podcast or something on YouTube, and they're talking about how it works jail politics, and essentially I don't quite know, because I was like, well, how does it work with Jews? Because he's always like, if you're white, you got to go with the whites. Like, that's just like how it goes, is you just got to go with the whites. And then I was like, how does it work with Jews? Like white looking Jews. And our boy Glock sorted it out. You got a swastika on the one arm, Star of David on the other, and you're sorted. Seems like if you went to go get the tattoo, though, the tattoo guy would be like, you sure about this? Maybe you get it in prison, though. Maybe you got to do it in prison. You go, and then you go, all right. That was one voicemail, and the next one is more of an advice question from last week's episode.
What's up, Danny? I just wanted to leave a quick voicemail and ask you for some bad advice. Basically, I book shows like music events, like usually punk rock, metal, that kind of stuff, in my hometown. And I've always loved comedy, and I've wanted to combine the two, but every time I've tried to combine them, it's always been a disaster. And I was wondering what your advice would be to put music and comedy on the same bill, or is that just a really bad idea in general?
All right. Yeah, so that's a good question. I don't have any experience. I'm not much of a promoter. By the way, shout out to everybody watching over on Rumble. Appreciate you all over there. But, yeah, this is a thing. I don't know why. I guess music is different because you can just put a bunch of different musical acts on bills. But comedy is always trying to like get shoehorned into other things. Like it's not good on its own. They'll always try and be like, hey, why don't we add comedy to like, hey, I feel like it's almost like a magician or something. We're like, let's like add it. And you're like, no, it's like, I've done comedy during music events where they go like, look, so it's going to be like one band, and then as the band's like, tearing down their shit and the other one's setting up, you can go do comedy. And it's always the worst because nobody came for comedy. They came for music. If they wanted to see comedy, they would see comedy. And like anyone I've ever spoken to, like I know comedians who are like, yeah, I've done, giant festivals, like giant music festivals. And they're like, yeah, when the comedian comes on, nobody can hear them. It's just everybody uses the comedic break to essentially just dick around. So I'm going to say no. The answer is no. Comedy is shitty mixed in with music. So that's all we got for the voice mailbox, the low value mailbox, if you will. All right, so let's get to some predictions, and I want to hear what y'all have, y'all's predictions and plans for 2023. And I want to hear. I'm interested to know how you plan on getting there, I guess. So here's a few of my predictions. Don't take them personally or not personally or seriously, because I did not put too much effort into this. And again, please like the stream. But my 2023 predictions are Russia. I think is going to win the war. They're going to win it. They're going to take it down. That's what I think. I think everybody's going to be like, you know what? We didn't care that much about Ukraine. I mean, nobody really does anymore. Remember how much people cared about it like 10 months ago? Like, people really cared about it. Like, they were like, whoa, this is wild. And then now you're like our attention spans are so short where if this doesn't get resolved, if it didn't get resolved in like the month, which it didn't, then we're like, oh, okay. Well, I guess that's just something that's going to be going on. So I'm going to say Russia wins the war. Contrarian take, I guess. I don't know if it is, but necessarily contrarian. But I think that's what happens because everybody's like, do we really care about Ukraine that much? Do we? I don't know. So, someone says Russia is fighting U.S., not Ukraine. I understand that Russia is not technically fighting, or is, they're fighting Ukraine, but it's a proxy war. But I think everybody's just going to give up. Although I will say, you do make a good point in the sense that U.S. is not generally the type of country to really walk away quickly. They walk away after, spending a lot more money than they have. But I think there'll be some sort of resolution where maybe it'll be a resolution where America will be like, yeah, Russia, you lost. And Russia's like, yeah, we won though. I do think inflation will be higher in 2023 at some point than it was at any point in 2022. Unfortunately, I do think that. There are some people think are like, I mean, Joe Biden is not helping things when he's like, we're beating inflation. And you're like, all you're making it do is not go down. But it's not, or not go up, sorry, but it's not going down. So that's not exactly ideal. I believe the price of, this is coupled with inflation stuff. Price of oil will go way up, which is kind of inflationary in and of itself. So if you have a car, look out for that. That's going to be a bummer. Assuming I'm right, I'll probably be wrong on, honestly, the way things are going, I'll probably be wrong on a lot of these things. And then two more. I don't know about this one. This is just a feeling, and maybe this is not even that big of a prediction, prognostication. But I know technically we won't have a real answer for this, but I think 2023 is the year where Trump's done. He's done. Even if he said, like, I think it'll be where like the consensus will be like, you're not winning, no matter who you run for. Because I heard something today where he's like, might be a third party independent candidate. I think that's it. I think we're going to actually have a resolution where like in 2023, it's going to be pretty clear that he's not going to be a candidate in 2024. And then finally, and I don't know how this is going to manifest, but only because I've been dicking around with a bunch of this stuff. But whatever we thought we saw from artificial intelligence in 2022, we're going to see some way crazier shit in 2023. I have a feeling that the growth in that stuff and the technological advancement in AI is going to be, I don't want to say parabolic, exponential. What's the word here? But it's going to go. It'll be. We're going to see some crazy shit. Because, I mean, again, like a lot of this stuff is only 4 months, 6 months, like the Dolly and the, all that stuff, and like the Chat GPT, which is, I was using Chat GPT. I might do a whole episode where just Chat GPT gives me I use Chat GPT to get ideas for topics for the show, and like they're not great, but they're not bad. They're not bad. They aren't terrible. So those are my predictions. For 2023. Hopefully you have some different ones. I hope you do. I'm sure you all do. And then in terms of goals, Gerard Perry says Moore's Law. Yeah, Moore's Law says that, what is it, super or computing power doubles every 4 years or something? I can't remember the amount, but that is Moore's Law. Yeah, it could be. AI could be moving on Moore's Law. It's gonna get wild. And then my goals for 2023, these are, I guess, just personal goals. But I mean, maybe you'll hear some of these and have some ideas on how I can achieve them. My first one is a health goal. I've been into the fasting. I'm currently fasting, and my goal is that I'm going to fast. I'm going to do 23 days, not 23 days, but 20 different fasts of 3 days in length this year. I'm going to try and grow my YouTube channel exactly the same amount that I did last year, which would lead me to about 100,000 subscribers and 2,000 subscribers, like 100,000 YouTube, and then 2,000 patrons, essentially, which is generally how that shakes out, so that I can get a snazzy studio with proper internet with 4Ks. This many Ks, 4 of them. And then my last goal of 2023 is I'm going to get arrested for a financial, not necessarily a financial crime, but I'm going to get arrested for some sort of crime that puts me in the same prison as Sam Bankman-Fried, so that I'm then able to avenge my losses in person. So I don't know exactly how that'll work. I believe there's some sort of movie where you're trying to, what was it, the movie where you're trying to break into the prison? What am I thinking of? The Rock? No. They were trying to break out of a prison, Alcatraz, right? No. I'm going to try and break into the prison, but not break in, because I'm just going to get arrested. And then I'm going to show Sam what's what, and then I'll get deported back to Canada likely. And my girlfriend is not going to be happy about that. That is not going to be a funny bit to her. Shout out to Aaron Lee with the super chat. He says, dumb thing I thought as a kid. I thought soup or salad from TV commercials for restaurants I heard was super salad. A really big salad. That's understandable. Super salad. Super salad. Yeah. Yeah, that's not in the off limits territory. But anyways, that is my main goal for 2023 is definitely get put in the same prison as Sam Bankman-Fried. And then is Sam Bankman-Fried going to have to join the Aryan Nation? That's what I wonder, right? Does he have to go with the Aryans? Or how does that work? How does that work with him? I wonder. Speaking of committing crimes, actually, these are both crime related. I have 2 things crime related that I'm going to open the phone lines for us all, so we can get the first show of the year on the road. Which one should I do first? Which one? We'll do this one. So this was news to me, but New York announced on January 1st, the state of New York, that they will no longer be prosecuting any person under the age of 12 for any crime other than homicide. So if you're, I don't know, do you remember like a couple weeks ago there was that kid who was playing football in the under 12 group? He's a really big black kid from, I think he was from Georgia or something. He looked like he was 30, but he was like 12, but or he's like 11 or 12. I think he was 12. They're not prosecuting any kids under the age of 12 anymore. So that dude could essentially rule the city of New York. Besides murder, he could do anything he wants. He's bigger than most adults, and he is outside of the law. It is pretty crazy. But New York announced that, which I guess is actually in line with most other places. Like, I saw that and I was like, oh shit. Just another added level to New York City dangerousness. New York City really has a way of always kind of keeping you on your toes. The stakes are higher here. But they no longer are going to arrest anybody under 12, which you could be arrested. There were last year in the state of New York, there were at least 800 children under the age of 12 who were arrested by police, which is pretty crazy. You could be arrested up to the age of 7. What handcuffs fit a 7-year-old? Like, if a 7-year-old murders someone, they arrest them. Which seems, I don't know. I mean, it's probably super rare that a 7-year-old commits murder. Probably more likely, like, I can feel like that would be something like gangs in New York, like, in the 1800s or some shit. That you could be like, yeah, I could see like a 7-year-old really just going to town and murdering people. But they have like gangs all over the world. If you go to like a lot of third world countries, they'll have these like swarming gangs where it will be like 8-9-year-olds who will come fuck you up, steal all your shit. It'll be like 10 of them will just come. I remember when I was in Brazil like 6 or 7 years ago, and we were talking to this guy, and this guy went to go buy beers. Like, he was like staying somewhere in Rio de Janeiro, and he went to go buy some beers at like the store, and then he got swarmed, and these kids stole all of his shit. So then he went back home, like literally, like they stole all his stuff. So he went back home, and he like their wallet and his phone, and then he grabbed like, I think he said I grabbed like enough money just to buy like a couple beers. And so he's like, it was like $5 or something. And he walked back out, and he had just been robbed of all his shit. And then I guess they saw him again, and then they went to go rob him again, and he only had the $5. He's like, sorry, I only got $5. And he's like, they took all my clothes. He's like, they left me in my underwear. So kids are fucking vicious, man. Kids are vicious. Especially those Brazilian street gangs. So I thought that was interesting, but I guess in Canada you can't get arrested if you're under the age of 12 either. I didn't know that. So I guess New York is just kind of catching up with the rest of the world. But if you're an 11-year-old kind of roided out kid in New York City, goddamn, this is your time to commit crime. So last thing I'm going to talk about, and then we're going to open the phone lines. 646-710-0949 is the number. The topic: 2023 predictions and resolutions / goals. Andrew Tate, Cobra Tate, the top G. We're going to talk about him for a minute. So this whole thing is ridiculous. But so I'm sure you have been following, but this is also, you know what? If Cobra Tate was 11 years old, he wouldn't be in this fucking mess right now. He would be unarrestable. Right? But so he did on the date of the last episode, which was December 27th. Andrew Tate, the whole thing was so stupid. Like, just the entire thing was like how everybody responded to it. So look, the fact that we all pretty much know who he is because he's a clever guy. Okay. He gamed TikTok. He literally gamed the TikTok algorithm to make himself the most searched man in the world like 6 months ago. Right. So he has an idea of how to get people talking about him, right? Like, we can all come to that conclusion that he kind of knows how to do that, how to just get the conversation to be about Andrew Tate. So he tweets this out of nowhere. This was the day of last week's episode, December 27th. He says, "Hello, Greta Thunberg." That's how us fancy folk pronounce it. He goes, "I have 33 cars. My Bugatti was a W16 8-liter quad turbo. Sounds fast. My 2 Ferrari 812 Competizione have 6.5-liter V12s. This is just the start. Greta, please provide your email address so I can send a complete list of my car collection and their respective enormous emissions. Okay? Total D-bag thing to tweet. You're just like, okay. Like, honestly, anybody else who would tweet that would just go ignored. But it's the top G, Andrew Tate. People like him. And so it kind of blows up. And then it blows up even more. So that tweet, just for some context here, okay, for some perspective, Twitter says that they have 450 million users on Twitter. Now, those are a lot of bots. They say that they have, I believe it's 280 million, what they call monetizable daily active users or monthly active users. Essentially, like, these are like real people. And it's like the real people who are on the thing on Twitter. It's about 280 million, okay? This tweet from Andrew Tate got 183 million impressions because they show impressions now on Twitter. So, assuming that bots didn't see this, maybe they did. Even let's say that that these are bot views, that's more than a third of every account on Twitter saw this tweet, okay? And then Greta, old Dunkarino over here with the behind the back through the legs Vince Carter dunk on Cobra Tate, says, yes, please do enlighten me. Email me at smalldickenergy@getalife.com. Now, I wasn't going to retweet Cobra Tate. I was not going to retweet Greta. I just was going to sit back and watch like a real top G would. I guess they wouldn't, though, because they would get in the mix. That's what a real top G would do. But this is very much like everybody's like, this is the great. And her thing got 290 million impressions. So even with the bots, that's 2/3 of every Twitter account that exists in the world saw Greta's tweet. So if anything, she owes him, because you got to figure a bunch of people did some serious recycling after that, right? A lot of recycling started because of this. But first off, if you've seen Happy Gilmore, that's a real you eat pieces of shit for breakfast kind of move. If you know the line, Shooter McGavin says, I eat pieces of shit like you for breakfast. And Happy Gilmore says, you eat pieces of shit for breakfast. And he says, no. I somehow made that as unfunny as possible because it's a great scene, right? But that's what she said. She goes, email me smalldickenergy@getalife. So you're like, so your website's getalife.com and your email is smalldickenergy. It was idiotic on both sides. That's why I'm not getting involved. There's like both of them are fucking, this whole thing was idiotic, other than the fact that, you know, they got everybody to talk about them. But the crazy thing is then the next day, as most of us now know, the top G gets fucking arrested because he made a little reply video where he's like smoking a cigar, and then he goes, oh, bring me my pizza. Make sure the boxes are not recycled or whatever the fuck. And then it's called like Jerry's Pizza. And then everybody's like, oh, because this was going around. This is total bullshit. But they're like, oh, the Romanian authorities were looking to arrest him, to arrest Cobra Andrew Tate. I'm not going to call him Cobra. He's a grown man, and I'm a grown man. But they're going to arrest Cobra Tate or whatever, and then they're like, oh, we didn't know he was in the country. That's everybody goes, oh, he ratted on himself by saying he showed the pizza box, and they go, oh, he's in Romania. We can arrest him. And this tweet got like 100 million impressions or something like that. And you're like, are you idiot? That is one of the stupidest things I've ever heard in my life. You think the Romanian government didn't know he was in the country and only figured it out because of a pizza box? You don't think there's any other ways they could figure out, like, I don't know, surveil him? Maybe just put a car outside of his house? How much does a Romanian police officer make a year? 10 grand? 20 tops, maybe? I don't know. I could be wrong, but you probably just put someone outside of his house and be like, just wait for him to come home. Or, you know, credit card statements, what, any of that shit. The fact, and everybody's like dunking on him. It's like, oh yeah. And then now he's in jail for human trafficking. Apparently he's in jail for him and his brother for 30 days. And he's all like, the Matrix is coming after me. And this is what happens when you tweet. And you're like, I personally just think it was a coincidence. I don't think those two things were related. Or the Romanian government and police are so inept that they're like, word? Andrew Tate's in Romania right now? Do they have Jerry's Pizza in other countries? Oh shit, he might be here. Let's go get him. That I find hard to believe. That I find difficult to believe. That the top G would but anyways, we'll see how that works. I don't think, again, like the guy has no shortage of clips where he's admitting to crimes. You're like, yeah, like, look, if you want to be a rich criminal, the one thing you probably should not be is a public facing person, right? Like, that's like feels like maybe the main thing is you're like, hey, do you want to be a good criminal? Good criminals generally stay anonymous. The best criminals, you never heard of them, ever. They're not in movies or books. They're so good that you don't know who they are. That's how good they are, right? The bad criminals, they get found out. The worst criminals are the ones like Andrew Tate, who are literally, and again, he'll be like, well, I'm just doing a character and I don't mean any of this stuff. But I mean, again, you're just asking for it. Like, if I don't have a high enough profile yet, but if I'm on here talking about pimping women and stuff, even if it's digital pimping and, you know, like just all the shit he talks about, you have to imagine somebody somewhere, their ears are going to perk up and they're going to be like, yeah, you know what? Maybe something is happening here. Is this at least worth looking into? Who wouldn't want to be the prosecutor who takes down Andrew Tate, right? Even if it's in Romania. Like, I don't know how much they care there. I really don't, but I don't know. Okay, that's it. That's all I got to say about the top G. We are going to open the phones for the first low value mail of 2023. I want to hear from you. Anything you want to talk about, but what are your predictions for 2023? What do you think is going to happen? What do you have planned for 2023? What are your goals, etc.? And how are you planning on achieving them? I am truly interested in that kind of stuff. So let's hear from you. Don't be shy. I got an email that just came in that I might read while I'm waiting for one of you to call in. Hopefully I didn't. Too late. Our first call of 2023 is coming all the way from Canada. Hello. Thanks for calling Low Value Mail.
Am I actually on?
Yeah, you're actually on. Who am I speaking with?
Speaking with B-Rad from Sudbury, Ontario.
B-Rad from Sudbury, Ontario. What do they got? The nickel there?
Big time. That's what I do. I find the nickel.
Oh, you actually work in mining?
Oh, yeah.
Nice. Don't they have like a crazy NORAD
Yeah,
thing in Sudbury, or is that North Bay?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not sure about that. We got some like snow lab thing. But I got a prediction for you.
All right, let's hear it.
Elon Musk is going to continue to fall in the eyes of society.
Like, just what do you mean? Well, and do you think fairly, or do you think it's like there's going to be some sort of manipulation at hand? I mean, this Tesla stock is getting smoked.
Yeah, I think that's going to continue to go down, come down from its insane heights. And I just think society is like, a lot of believers are slowly coming up to like a lot of his ideas are kind of bunk.
So are you a fan of his, or no?
Reinvention of the. Not a big fan, but like, you know, some people have thought like reinventing the subways, but shittier was a good idea, and that's not panning out so well.
Yeah, I wonder.
Same with the Hyperloop stuff.
Yeah, that stuff. I will say though, the SpaceX shit is legit. Like his Boring Company thing is whatever. Like I don't even. I'm not even aware of like where they're even. I know they're doing it like certain places, and the Hyperloop I think was only just something that was discussed. I don't think there's been any kind of investment in Hyperloop, but like the SpaceX stuff is legit. Like he's gonna literally cover the planet. Like it's already like evaluated at like 100 and I believe as of like in the last few days, like close to $200 billion company. Like a valuation, but like he's going to cover every inch of the globe in like internet coverage, where I believe there's something like 2 billion people on Earth still do not have internet.
Yeah, fair enough. I just think like the hype around him is going to settle down. People are going to come to grips with the fact that he's just sort of eccentric and has too many kids.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's definitely like I've seen, you've seen the tide turn on him for sure. Cause he was super rich and everybody was like, I mean, he still is like obscenely rich, but with the Twitter stuff and really doing it on the fly, I think he's been just kind of ruffling a lot of feathers. And then also now he's talking about there's going to be the Fauci files coming out and all this Twitter file stuff. You have to imagine that if there is any kind of deep state, they are gonna be coming after him pretty fucking hard and throwing the kitchen sink at him, if you will.
Yeah, for sure. And before I go, I'll leave you with my New Year's goal.
Yeah, buddy.
Try and keep the dad bod off as a new dad.
Nice. Oh, you're a new dad. How recently?
Like a year and a bit.
A year and a bit. And what is your strategy to do that? Do you have you planned anything out on how to accomplish that?
No, just play lots of basketball, play squash, and
all right. So you do, you're gonna exercise. You're gonna get a lot of exercise in. All right, that's all. Well, good luck with that, dude. I'm with you, man.
Anyway, all right, man.
Later, bud.
Thanks for answering my call. Nice chatting.
Take care. Happy New Year. Brad from Sudbury, everybody. Yeah. It's good. You gotta. I find the goals. I often at the beginning of years I will write down goals, and sometimes I'll go back to them. And I find that writing the goals down really does help a lot. Because I've listened to like a lot of stuff on that, and I mean it makes sense. But you're like, if you don't write it down generally, then you're like, what do you have to really aim for? Oh, Canada call number Deuce. What's up? Thanks for calling Low Value Mail.
Hey, no way, I got through.
Yeah.
How's it going, buddy?
How's it going, man?
All right, Tim from Ontario.
Tim from Ontario.
Big fan. I wanted to say, so I found out about you and Ryan Voicecast. It was about a year ago, and you guys are fucking love you guys. Huge inspiration. Fucking love the hustle. Love what you guys are doing.
Appreciate it. Thanks,
so, just wanted to say, yeah, man. I can't believe I got through it. I didn't think that was going to happen anyway.
Yeah,
but
it's got to happen for somebody.
Resolutions wise, talking about that stuff.
Yeah.
Personally, I'm as I said, you guys are like an inspiration to me. So I thought I'd try to get a little YouTube channel going myself.
Nice. You want to plug it?
Been at it for like a month, well, more than a month.
How's it going?
But well, I mean, I just fucking started, so like.
Well, okay. Well, what's the YouTube channel?
It's my name, Tim McCullough. So you probably find it. I don't know. There's like.
That's a hard. Let me see if I can spell this. Tim McCullough. MCC.
Yeah.
ULLOUGH.
Everyone thinks it's OUGH, but we spell it OCH at the end. So
OCH. Okay. There is a Dr. Tim McCullough with the other.
Yeah, that's right.
There we go. Tim. Yeah, here we go. Okay, I subscribe to your channel. You're gonna have 10 subscribers.
Yeah. That's it.
There you go. I mean, you got to start somewhere, man. Oh no! I almost knocked the phone over. You got to start somewhere. So, I mean, I only had at the start of 2022. I was like looking back on it. I think I only had like 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. So,
yeah, man, you've been growing pretty quickly because I subbed you like just a little while ago. You had under 10K, and now you're getting up there pretty quick.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking I'll just do a video a week and like see what happens, man.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is like a really hard thing to see in the moment, I guess, and like but it is such a powerful thing. Is like just the power of compounding, even for anything like, even something like a YouTube channel is like, you could start off at say 1,000 subscribers or whatever. You're at 10 subscribers and you're like, look, I just want to add 10% a week, which doesn't seem like a lot. Like your first week, that'll only be one new subscriber, but 10% a week compounded is like, over a long period of time, you're going to grow your channel very large if you can keep that up.
Right on. Yeah, everything I've heard is just about consistency, right? Like, just keep doing it and let it go.
So what's your channel
Matthews
about?
Just scored a beauty goal. Sorry, I'm watching the Leafs as I talk to you.
Is it 5-5?
Well, they're in shootouts now.
They tied
one goal each.
Oh, okay, I hate shootouts.
Anyway, sorry. I'm talking over you. What'd you say?
That's okay. So what's your channel about?
Just trying to do like a little bit of like political satire. Like I'm really like, I loved old school Colbert, like Colbert Report, Jon Stewart, like back in the day.
Okay.
But like the last, fucking nice goal. The last
It's the most Canadian call of all time.
Martin with a beauty, buddy. Like freedom convoy, man. That was the tipping point for me. It was like these legacy media folks, like they're just blatantly misrepresenting so many things. I can't take it anymore.
Yeah,
so I was like,
with that. Well,
let's poke fun at that.
The beauty of YouTube is you can literally right now start your own. You can basically start your own TV channel. It's actually, I'm noticing a lot of like comedians in New York City now who are like, they're getting really focusing on YouTube, where they like, nobody really cared about it that much. Even like 2 years ago, it was not something that
that's what I've been hearing.
Wasn't so. I mean, more people watch podcasts now. Like more people consume podcasts on YouTube than anywhere else. Like more than Spotify, more than their phone. I mean, if you have YouTube Premium, then you can just listen to podcasts with your phone closed or whatever. So that's kind of a game changer. But
well, that's what I was doing. I get the Blazecast Patreon on the Premium, and then I just download it and listen to the audio.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. Well, tell people. So Tim McCullough, everybody can find you, and you're gonna mostly some Canadian based, like Canadian.
Yeah, it'll be mostly Canadian. Well, the other thing is, right? Like,
we got a lot of
people always
Canadians
talk about how boring Canadian politics is. So I was like, we can make it a little bit more interesting. Like, there's shit going on. You just got to make it funny.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I would say the last couple of years with Trudeau and the COVID stuff, Canada got more, not positive recognition, but more people know about it with the trucker stuff and the blackface and all that stuff. Generally not
pretty well known for that.
Yeah, generally not super positive, but whatever, it is what it is. All right, cool. Tim, thanks for calling in, man. Good luck with that.
Cheers, man. Love you guys. Have a good one.
Bye. Tim from Ontario watching Leafs in the shootout. I guess the Leafs tied it up. It was 5-4 last I checked, so at least they got the single point. Hello, thanks for calling Low Value Mail.
What is up, Danny Polishuk? How you doing?
What is happening? How are you doing?
Not too much. I'm Ryan from Chicago.
Ryan from Chicago. What is up?
Yeah. So basically, my resolution is low-key trying to convert to Christianity.
You're low-key trying to convert?
Yes.
Isn't that an easy one to do?
Yeah, it's very easy. They're trying to get anyone they can get.
Yeah. So why have you decided that for this year? Was there any sort of like reason or any sort of like inciting incident, if you will?
Basically, I was into all the red pill. Like I had all the phases of like the Kevin Samuels and the Andrew Tates.
Yeah.
And everyone. And I don't know. It's like.
And you're coming home to Jordan Peterson, huh?
Basically. I mean, I feel like it's just less cool nowadays. Like a big part of the whole pickup game is like the fact that like you have to be like become so valuable and then the girls will like you. But like, I don't know. It's just when is like the norm to be like out like just smashing just with no underlying purpose. It's just kind of like weird.
I mean, you're on just like a hamster wheel. Like it is one of those things where you're like, yeah, it could be. It's just like a vice almost, where it's like it could be fun for a bit, but then you're like, what do I just do this all the time?
Yeah.
So what kind of Christianity? Do you have like a type?
Yeah, basically going back to Catholicism, I was like low key. I was in one of those families that was like kind of Catholic, but like not really. So I'm kind of going back to that.
Okay. Is your family? Do they practice? And like, when you say like, are you going to go to church every Sunday, or like, what does this entail?
Yeah, basically just going back to church, kind of like reading the Bible. The Bible's actually like kind of interesting. There's like, I was reading it the other day.
It's the most popular book of all time.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it would be interesting, but there's like so many random like grotesque scenes. Like I was reading this book last night, and it was like the dad and his two daughters, and like it was the story they escaped Gomorrah as it was burning, and they made out, and they were so happy. But now the girls are like, I don't have any dudes to like have children with, so they got their dad drunk, and then they both smashed him to have their children.
God damn.
It's crazy.
That's hot.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck that Bible incest shit. No wonder like the step category on Pornhub is like the most searched category. That shit is biblical.
Literally,
that shit is ingrained into the DNA. So you're gonna go every week? Yeah, I've never. I can't say I've ever read the Bible. I have noticed though a lot of people, anecdotally, it seems like a lot of people are becoming more interested in religion. Like in the last like 12 months or so, I have honestly noticed that, like where people are like, yeah, I'm gonna go on back. I you know what it is? It must be some cyclical thing where there was just too much excess and too much like just meaningless, just existing, I guess. And so there's like a course correction where people are like, okay, well, now I got to go back.
Yeah, it's kind of like the cool like underground counterculture to be like traditional to some degree.
Yeah, it's essentially like it's like punk to be a Catholic.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
All right, any predictions for 2023?
No, I think things will maybe go well for Tate either way, because like if he gets locked up, dudes are gonna love him. If he gets free, everyone's gonna love him. Like I think it's gonna be a good year for Tate.
I don't think him getting locked up for any period of time is a win for him because he's rich, as at least he says.
Yeah.
So you're like, what does he really get out of this?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, like I feel like if he got free, then everyone would just be like, "Oh, it was a false allegation. You were right all along." And if he got locked up, everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, like you knew this all along. Everyone's against you."
Yeah, I forgot though because he has this accent, but he was born in America. So he could run.
Yeah, he was born like near me.
He's near Chicago, so he could run for president.
That would be crazy.
Wouldn't that be crazy if Andrew Tate was the president?
That would be amazing.
That would honestly make, because everybody's like talking about not religious. What was the fucking movie where I can't remember? People are talking about where it's like the dude from King of the Hill wrote the movie. People know exactly what I'm talking about. Anyways, it'll be like one of those where some just crazy influencer dude, Andrew Tate, becomes president.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll
all right,
see.
Well, great talking.
Idiocracy. Yeah. Thanks, Luke. Idiocracy.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. What were you saying?
Well, yeah. I was saying thanks for having me. Yeah. By the way, it's Ryan, the dude who does the edits.
Oh, it's Ryan who does the edits. Oh, cool, dude. Ryan is, yeah. Oh, hell yeah, dude. Oh, Ryan, yeah. For people who don't know, Ryan on the line here, we've never spoken before, but does a lot of the edits for the Boys Cast.
Yeah, it's good talking for the first time for real.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. Take care, bud.
All right, see you. Queued up.
Ryan, everybody. Yeah, Ryan's solid. He's a very, very talented editor. Really good work. Hello. Thanks for calling Low Value Mail. Hello. Get those likes up. 13 more likes. I'm going to give away a channel membership. I can't hear this person, so they're getting hung up on. That's my New Year's resolution. I'm hanging up on people faster. I will say I've gotten better at kind of cutting people off. 12 more likes. I'll give away a channel membership. Hello.
Hey, Danny. It's Maurice.
Maurice, how's it going?
Happy 5,700 year to you.
Yes, it's what year is it in the Hebrew for the Jews? 5783, right?
Yeah.
Nice. Happy 5783, everybody. How was your New Year, Maurice?
New Year was really good. Hung out with my chick, cooked some food.
Nice. Sounds exciting. So you got any predictions for us?
Yeah, predictions. I think crypto as a whole is just going to crash more continuously because it doesn't make sense that people hold crypto as an asset and then speculate in the future they're going to use it as everyday currency.
Yeah, I agree. The whole thing where people are like, Bitcoin is currency, and they're like, oh, look, you can buy a coffee with Bitcoin. And you're like, why would you want to buy a coffee with Bitcoin?
Exactly. That doesn't make sense.
That doesn't
and then
make
my
sense,
other one
so, yeah.
is VR is going to just go out like a fad, like 3D.
You think so?
I do. Well, did you see, was it John Carmike quit Meta?
No.
And he's like the video game guy. He was all over their Meta division. You know, he made Quake, Wolfenstein, Doom. And he's like, we can't do anything with this.
Really? So he's just basically, he's out of there. Interesting.
And he left, like, he torched the company. He was like talking shit on them. He was like, Zuckerberg can't get projects off the ID anymore. Teams can't extend projects that long.
Yeah, I wonder about that. I mean, I've said this. Like, do you have one of the headsets or anything?
I do. Yeah, I have a Vive.
Vive. Oh, I remember that. See, I have that's like the one that has a actual like a cord that goes into your computer.
Yep.
Right? Yeah, that one I've never. Or I use one of those like VR like lounge things when I lived in Toronto. But I have the Oculus too, and like it is really cool. But I've never really used it for more than 10 minutes or some shit. Like you use it for like a little bit, and then I either get motion sickness or like.
Yeah, the longest I've ever been able to play is maybe 45 minutes before I have to take a break.
But you have to assume that like in 5 years from now, it'll just be like a pair of glasses that you put on, and they're gonna figure out like a lot of these. But again, their new VR where you're like, this thing's $1,500. Like nobody's fucking buying this.
Exactly. Like, nobody's going to buy that over a phone. And it's like, there's no killer thing that makes VR like, oh, you got to check this out.
No, that was the one thing where I go like $1,500. Like I bought the Oculus because it was $300 or $250. I was like, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't a crazy purchase. Like I won't feel bad if I don't use this. But like when you get up to things costing, $1,500, $2,000, you're like, yeah, you better fucking use this all the time.
Well, let me ask you this, because I'll be honest. I watched porn on it and was so disappointing and sad.
Everything's just so disorienting on it. Like I have watched porn on it before, and I was like, this is like, I don't know, I'm not just doing this.
My whole thing was that like the setup and prep. And then, like, once you come, you're like, how do I take this off without getting cum somewhere? There's no easy way to take it off one-handed.
No, the whole thing is, and like I did, the one cool thing is, I guess there's an app recently where it's like the space state, the International Space Station, and you're like in the space station, and it's cool, and you go out into space, and you're just floating around there, and you're like, this is pretty cool. It is really cool for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Like everything is cool for 5 minutes.
And then I'm like, and then I'm like, okay, I don't know. There was actually a really cool mini putt game on there that I played. But again, it's like, I don't know, nothing keeps my attention for longer than a few minutes on that stuff. So, but yeah, so you're saying VR out, crypto.
Yep, VR. It'll just become one of those technologies that like your like nerdy cousin is into, but like not mainstream.
Yeah, I mean that'll be an absolute disaster for Meta if they just abandon. If they end up just like abandoning VR, that won't be good for them. But all right, and any goals?
Yeah, goals, not so much like traditional resolution goals. So I recently finished ketamine therapy last week.
Interesting. Do you mind elaborating further on why you were doing it?
Oh yeah, for sure. So it's mostly like I always felt stuck in this place in my life, and mostly that came from like my parents had like a wild divorce. Like my mom threatened to kill me with a knife. My dad would like leave at times, and like
your mom threatened to kill you with a knife.
Yeah,
man. Where like that whole thing where like the kids are like just like is it my fault? And your mom's like yes, and then she goes to stab you with a knife. That's insane, man.
Yeah, so I just felt like stuck in this like almost like perpetual fear of things.
Yeah, I mean, I would be fearful too if my mom wielded a knife at me.
Yeah, and have you ever done ketamine in general?
I have, yes, I have.
Okay, so
how do you take it? Is it nasally? Like it's a spray?
Oh no! So when it's ketamine therapy, it's injection on your shoulders.
Okay.
And yeah, same. I've also done ketamine.
You're not just like blasting lines at a fucking Fish concert,
dude. This is the craziest clean high I've ever felt in my life.
Yeah, but is there any? Because I know people like get addicted to ketamine, but I guess the way they obviously give it to you is like, do you leave there being like, I want to go buy some ketamine?
No, not at all.
No,
because it's not because you're in like a small office and like it's like really soft lighting and kind of like the whole set and setting type thing. Okay. So they like really like gear you up.
And you're with a therapist?
Yes.
Okay, so you're basically the therapist. Do they do the injecting, or is it like a nurse?
A nurse does, and they do monitor your vitals. So if you're like having a bad trip, they give you benzodiazepine to pull you out real quick.
Right. That's like, I think that works for LSD is a big popular one. If you're on an LSD trip, you just take benzo and game over. Interesting. So anyways, and so you give the cosign on the old ketamine therapy?
100%. And especially like the big takeaway or thing I learned, which is like, granted, obviously it's been like less than a week for any type of goals, but still that like, I always assume that other people just like, when they change, it's almost like their consciousness dies and a new consciousness just envelops it with all their memories, but they just act different.
Okay.
But like what I realized was that anytime you enter a situation or like, if you want to eat pizza or whatever, it really is just thinking about like, what choice do I want to make now? And do I want to feel immediately good or good in the future?
Essentially, you're just being present. You're trying to be as present as possible.
Exactly. Because like during one of my ketamine trips, it was like this futuristic, like, have you ever seen CoffeeZilla?
Like the YouTuber?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy actually. I was just talking about it with Ryan because a friend of ours from Toronto, this guy Amish Patel, who's actually called into the show, he's been doing us live stream and he does this show. It's called The Drip, but like he had a show with CoffeeZilla for like 2 years, like all during the pandemic. And then I guess CoffeeZilla, they stopped doing it. And then CoffeeZilla like blew up or whatever. And now they're back to doing it. So if you check it out, it's called The Drip.
I'll definitely check that out.
Yeah, it's The Drip with my boy Amish Patel and CoffeeZilla. But yeah.
Okay. So you know how CoffeeZilla's like green screen background is all like sci-fi.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of like that in my ketamine trip. And I met this like weird guy and he was like, hey, I understand like what you've been going through, but like, just imagine if you're reading the same page in a book over and over. It gets boring and monotonous. Just turn the page. You have to continue with the story at a certain point.
And this guy was like in your imagination or in your hallucination?
Yeah, in my hallucination, like probably like presuming my subconscious and just, hey, I know you've thought about your parents, but after a while you just keep going with what you're doing. Otherwise you're going to stay here forever. Interesting.
That is pretty insightful from your subconscious, I guess.
Exactly.
What did that person look like? Do you remember?
Not exact facial features, but they were very well dressed, like in a suit. Almost looked like
it's like future you.
Possibly,
it's like
yeah.
You from the future who's like basically got out and got his shit together in a nice 3-piece suit, and he goes, "Hey, Maurice, you can get there. You can get to here."
And like that completely just changed my thinking.
And wait, you did this last week?
Yes, all last week. So it went from Monday until Friday.
Oh, you did 5 days of ketamine therapy?
Yes.
So can you? Because this is kind of interesting to me. So what happens? You check into like a clinic or something?
No, so you just go to this. It was like a business park where like somebody just had like a ketamine therapy office there.
Yeah.
Then like you check in, they check your vitals normally, drink or like smoke weed, or like eat big meals beforehand. So they want to make sure
alcohol?
you're like mellow.
No.
Yeah, no alcohol.
Oh, okay, but you can smoke weed.
No smoking weed.
Oh, no smoking weed. Oh, okay. So you just
nothing that like change your mind to such a big range either way.
Okay, so you just go in there and then they take your vitals, you chill for a bit, and then you go in with like a nurse and they give you. And then how you talk to a therapist?
Yeah, so you do a pre-screening because you have to get approved for ketamine therapy. Like, because I'm assuming there is some type of like they do want to filter out like drug addicts to some extent.
Yeah.
To make sure they're not gaming the system.
Yeah, for sure.
So you meet with them
first. Do you pay for it?
Yes.
Do you mind telling me how much it is?
Oh no, I don't care. So it's $250 a session.
Okay, that's not so crazy.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Um,
So you did it for 5 straight days.
yes.
Crazy. And how long are you high for?
Oof. Well, like, I guess depends how you define that. Like, tripping, like hallucinating, probably hour and a half. But, you know, like if you take mushrooms, like the come down lasts a while too.
Right.
So probably the come down from ketamine was probably like another 2 or 3 hours after that.
So how do you do? And do they make you stay there for like 5 hours, kind of thing?
No, they do have to have somebody pick you up.
Okay.
So I just had like my girlfriend was driving me.
Yeah. Crazy. And so you did
Yeah.
ketamine 5 days in a row, and then after that, you're like, feel like a new man.
Oh, for sure. Like even just think, you know, like earlier tonight, I was like, oh, fucking pizza sounds great. And like when I get pizza, it's not like I eat 2 slices away.
Yeah,
It's like
nobody
I might as
does.
well, you know, you might as well eat the fucking pie.
Right.
But then it's like, oh, I've already done that, and like it wasn't good for me. Like, let me see what it feels like not to do that, even though I crave it.
Interesting. And so then what did you eat instead?
Just made myself some chicken ramen.
Oh, okay. That seems like
Yeah.
a better option. All right, cool, Maurice. Well, that was very interesting. Congrats on that, I guess. And that's well, I'm sure we'll hear back from you soon and find out how things are going with you.
Of course, you're awesome. Love the show. I'm
Thanks.
gonna be sad the day you get a screener. I won't be able to just get to you immediately.
I will never get a screener. I will, unless for some reason this is going to be like on. I don't see why I'll ever get a screener because it's on YouTube. So,
well, that's great.
Yeah.
Happy New Year, Danny.
Take
Have
care,
a good
buddy.
show.
Yeah. Happy New Year, Maurice. Ketamine therapy, everybody. Interesting stuff. I mean, I know people who have done ketamine 5 days in a row, but it's generally they're snorting it and they're not. It's not a healthy thing. They're not coming out of it at the end of the day changed in a positive way. That's for sure. Hello. Thanks for calling Low Value Mail.
No way.
Yes way.
What's up, fucker?
How you doing, man? Who am I speaking
Doing
with?
good. How are you?
I'm well. I want to take ketamine 5 days in a row.
Dude, I had no plan for this.
You had no plan for this? That's fine.
Oh, no, I did have something.
All right, here we go.
Bad advice. I need your advice on whether to go out to the bar tonight.
It's a Tuesday night after.
It's
the
Tuesday, but
Tuesday
Tits Out
after a
Tuesday.
weekend. What's that?
Tits Out Tuesday, baby.
What's Tits Out Tuesday? Is that
Tits Out Tuesday is, Tuesday. You go out and maybe there's tits.
maybe there's tits? Yeah, there's probably less chance of tits than like a Thursday to Sunday. I mean, what'd you do for New Year's?
I didn't do anything.
Oh, you didn't do anything. So it's not like
That's
you were
the problem.
It's not like you were raging it all weekend and then Tuesday comes along and you're itching to go back out there. I mean, if there's
Correct.
something fun going on, why not? If you didn't do anything this weekend,
I didn't do anything. And
why
I'm
didn't you do
fine.
anything? Any reason?
I'm trying to find a girl to smooch
On Tits Out Tuesday,
on Tits Out Tuesday,
or
baby.
just in general?
Why didn't I do anything? I don't know. It got late, and I was like, maybe I'll go out. My friend stopped responding, and I don't know. I'm being very boring. I imagined calling and being funny. 'Cause
Yeah.
people call are funny, and you're
I
funny.
mean, sometimes they're funny. Sometimes I'm funny. It's not.
That's true.
It's not a comedy show. Like
What's
there's obviously funny moments of the show, but it's not a comedy show per se. I don't know if you should go out. Where do you live? Like
I'm in Nashville.
Nashville. Oh, okay.
Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah. Go out then. I didn't know you were in Nashville. Yeah. Go out. Yeah. Nashville is the shit. I love Nashville. That's
Yeah,
maybe my favorite city I've ever been to in America that I've traveled to.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, Nashville's the
Good
shit.
shit.
Yeah, Nashville's fun.
it-
Nashville's.
You guys did Zanies here, right?
Yeah, we did Zanies there. Yeah. It was a couple times. Nashville's dope. You want to see Kid Rock out? You ever see Kid Rock?
No, I haven't, but
He's
I know
around though.
He's around. I'm from Michigan, and he's from Michigan, so
There you go. That's something. Yeah, I don't know. For Nashville, I would say go out. Nashville's probably fun every night of the week.
okay. More advice. How do I get a smooch from a girl, a pretty girl, hopefully?
How do you get a smooch on a Tuesday night in Nashville? You just gotta.
But Tits Out Tuesday.
What's that?
But Tits Out Tuesday.
Tits Out Tuesday. Yeah, you just got to go for it. I mean, you got to get out there, and I mean, it's there's no one real way to do it, I guess. But just offer buy them a drink, be funny. Be funny is generally the best thing you can do. If you can somehow be effortlessly, like it doesn't seem like you're trying too hard to be funny somehow, that works very well.
Okay, let me add this. Does it seem like I'm funny? Does it seem like I
currently?
Can do that? Yeah, currently.
No, but it doesn't seem like you're not funny. It just doesn't seem like we're really having a humorous conversation. Like the topic is not one of a funny topic, I guess. But I feel like once we get a few pops in you.
Everybody says no, I'm not funny.
Yeah, they're saying
I
no.
think I'm living a nightmare right now.
No, it's fine. Have you considered ketamine therapy?
Maybe I will now, but I don't think that'll make me more funny. Everybody's just saying no in the chat. Danny, I regret this so much.
All right, do you have any resolutions for 2020?
Holy fuck. Oh my god. I'm living a nightmare.
No, you live in Nashville.
Listen, Danny.
Yeah.
Listen to me, buddy.
Yeah. Have you considered moving to Romania?
This is fine. Everyone's saying not funny. Fuck you guys. I hate this guy. Oh my god.
Guys, be nice.
I'm living a nightmare.
Nah, you live in America.
Listen, long-time listener, this is my first time actually seeing the live stream. I was just listening to Spotify. And so I figured the chances of actually getting through were so unlikely. Somebody says, I love you, caller.
There you go.
Thank you. God bless.
There you go.
So, yeah,
Look, get out there. Don't let the chat dictate how you feel about yourself, okay? You get out there and you get some lady to whip the old titties out. On a Tuesday in Nashville. Go down to the strip, the downtown, where shit goes down there. I'm sure there's like 4 million bachelorette parties or whatever they always have there.
It's true.
Just get out there.
All right, I'm going to go get out there. Listen, Danny, thank you for taking my call
My pleasure.
when I didn't have anything prepared. And
that's fine.
Thank you, buddy.
All right, take care. Have a good night.
Bye.
All right, let's hope he gets to see some titties. Let's hope he gets to see them. All right, we got a call. Hello, next call, Low Value Mail.
Hey, it's Christian from Oklahoma.
Christian from Oklahoma. How you doing, buddy? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, bro.
What's up?
So, for the prediction of 2023,
yes.
The first one for that I see is that China and Russia are going to get much more closer.
Think so? Didn't they get kind of closer last year?
Yes, but a couple of days ago, I followed the Kremlin's, not the Twitter, but the Telegram account.
Okay.
And there was a photo of Putin and Xi Jinping. They were doing like a summit over like Zoom.
Okay.
And you see both of them have like the diplomatic thing where like you see both flags of the same nation. And
Okay.
they were talking about how they're
like on each square they had both flags?
Yeah,
Okay,
like
gotcha.
you ever seen like a diplomat thing where
Yeah. Where they have exactly like both flags. Which I mean it's understandable. They're kind of same part of the world. They have same politics somewhat.
Yeah. So they're gonna do a thing with they're gonna have stronger ties with the military between both of them, and they're gonna buy more Russian gas. So they're gonna probably be selling that to Europe.
Yeah. Well, I saw it today, I think, which is I think somewhat informed my opinion on Russia winning the war, but that Israel straight up was like, we're no longer supporting Ukraine, really.
Yeah. Oh, did you see that the Azov battalion went to Israel?
No.
Yeah, there was a few dudes in I guess like the Jerusalem Post or whatever like newspaper in Israel was pissed that these Nazi dudes are there.
Yeah, I mean at least they're consistent because the Jerusalem Post is like pretty left wing publication. They were probably they were probably a publication calling a lot of people Nazis who were not.
Yeah, yeah, or some like newspaper thing. I forgot, but a resolution.
Oh, sorry, go on.
Oh, my fault. What were you about to say?
No. I was just saying, go on. So that was your prediction for 2023 is Russia, China unite, get closer together. And then what do you got resolution wise?
Try to find a new job. I just completed my bachelor's degree. I finally got it done, man. Thanks, man.
Congrats. How long did that take you?
It took me 4 years, but at the age of 27, I got it done.
Oh, nice.
I did it super late.
Yeah, you started when you were and like in class, or how did that work with all the COVID stuff? Was it all?
Oh, Well, I started in 2018, and I did it while I was working too, and I would do it consistently. Like I would go full time and then like part time as a job.
Okay.
And during COVID, it was so much easier because like I would hop on the Zoom thing, and like the teachers really didn't care. Like they would open the test on Blackboard and they'd just be like, "Hey guys, you could do the test online." And bro, we would just use Google Answers and change it.
Crazy. I mean, now with the Chat GPT thing, I can't imagine what it'd be like doing like
bro. Yeah.
Like anything where you're not like someone watching you and you're like, I can just like enter this and get a pretty good answer. Just spit out like that.
Yeah. Also, too, another resolution is I'm probably going to start getting back onto YouTube and do some more YouTube videos.
Oh, we got another YouTuber. All right. You want to plug your channel?
It's just my first name and last name, Christian Schmidt. Jumin.
Like SCHMIDT?
Yes. Holy crap. You're like the first person that ever got it right.
Really?
Yeah, everybody's like, yo, it's TT. I'm like, no, it's DT, bro.
Well, it's the same as Mike Schmidt, the baseball player.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. That's how I know. Christian Schmidt. I don't see anything that comes up here.
And then, like, the ad is, like, 95 at the end since 495.
Oh, that's what we were missing here. Christian Schmidt, 95. I still don't see it.
Yeah. I'm probably going to be doing some political YouTube videos.
All right.
But
I'm trying to find it to follow you, but I don't see it. Christian, like CHRISTIANSACH.
Yeah, like the
the
religion.
Yeah, I don't see it.
Yeah.
I'll look again. Well, put it in the comment section so people can go comment with it. People can follow it if they want. Cool. Well, and it's just gonna be what, politics kind of stuff.
Yeah, and a little bit of that, and maybe some like funny videos.
All right,
but not really comedian-ish.
I mean, you don't have to be. I've seen a lot of funny videos for people who are not comedians. You don't necessarily need to be a quote unquote comedian to make funny videos. I mean, it doesn't hurt. The thing that helps the most, and to be honest, is when you get really popular from your funny videos and then you want to go do something in person. Stand-up comedy is kind of like the best thing to do, and I've seen no shortage of like someone blow up on TikTok and then they are like, okay, well, I'm gonna go try comedy, and you're like, yeah, good luck with that.
Also, one last thing.
Yeah.
Did you the funny thing about Twitter? The other day I seen these like Taliban accounts. They were like talking shit to these Pakistani dudes, and they're like, yo, we're gonna invade and annex a part of your land.
The Taliban? I think I got duped by this. I think this is the fake account. Were they the ones that they were like, they found like a homosexual at the wastewater plant or whatever? I thought that was a real account, but it was definitely a fake after looking at it further. I don't think the Taliban has unverified accounts.
Yeah, it's true because like well, I mean, they could pay for it, but they have probably no money.
The Taliban can afford the fucking $8 a month. I promise you, they had $5 billion worth of American weapons just left in Afghanistan. I think.
Bro, can they even bank?
Yeah, they figure that shit out, man. I'm sure they could get pay-as-you-go credit cards, and they can do it. But I think like official accounts are on there. Maybe not. I don't know. But I think that account that you're referencing, if it's the same one I'm thinking of, is not right.
Oh, yeah, probably.
I think it's just a parody account. All right, cool. Congrats on everything, Christian. Happy New Year. Take care.
But
all right, that was Christian. Everybody, Christian Schmidt. See if you can go find him. I can't. I did give away the membership at 100 likes, 150 likes, and I will give another membership away. So please like the stream. We need another 32 likes. Hello. Thanks for calling Low Value Mail.
Hey, Danny. What's going on, man?
What is happening? Who am I speaking with?
So this is Jake from Utah. So I got a New Year's resolution for you, man.
All right. Let's hear it.
So my resolution is by the third month of this year is to finally get off the Kratom. I've been taking the last.
Interesting. So you know what? I remember looking into Kratom, and I can't remember when this was. Maybe like a few years ago, and I somehow got on some subreddit, and all these people are like, "Yeah, it's like pretty addictive."
Oh yeah, definitely, man. I mean, I can't lie because that shit saved my life. I was using heroin.
But that's the thing. So that's another thing is people are like, it's really good for getting off of like opioids. And stuff. So it helped you get off of opioids.
Oh yeah, definitely. It was a pretty mellow transition to get onto the kratom. And then every time I try to get off, I get pretty dope sick, as they call it.
Right.
But
so did you suffer withdrawals, like heroin withdrawals, when going to kratom?
Yeah, a little bit, but it wasn't nearly as bad as going like straight cold turkey. I mean, I was still able to, but it was uncomfortable for first 3 days, and but eventually started to mellow out a little bit. But like I said, I've been kind of cutting down a lot the last 6 months.
And how do you take kratom?
It just comes in the powder. I'll mix it in like
Just mix it with juice or whatever.
Yeah, like orange juice.
Oh, okay. And is it true? Well? Like depending on the dose you take, it has like really different effects.
Yeah, definitely, man. Like I'm taking like a gram every couple hours and down to a pretty low dose, and I don't feel it. I'll feel a little bit of energy and stuff, but I mean, I've been taking it for so long that it's not gonna fuck me up. But there's been times where I take too much and end up throwing up and got like pin needle pupils and shit. And
crazy. And what happens? Like, how does that work where you go back to like the heroin withdrawals if you don't take kratom? Like it just kind of just all unravels?
I guess it's they don't consider kratom an opiate, but it fills the opiate receptors. So I guess just going from the heroin to the kratom, that kind of fills that void. So when you get off the kratom, it's still go through and shit.
Oh, gotcha. So interesting. Yeah, I've never tried. I've been interested in trying it, and just like it's been around, and I just have like never tried it for whatever reason.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's you could definitely get like addicted to it. I wouldn't suggest people who aren't already on the opiates, but if you're doing something harder that's going to kill you, like especially with fucking fentanyl everywhere.
Yeah.
Like right now, I've been taking the kratom so long that I feel like the mental cravings of putting a needle in my arm is gone. So
that's good. I mean, that sounds like honestly sounds like a win, even if you're dealing with dependency on kratom. You're like, that seems like a
definitely
much lesser of the two evils. Have you ever taken fentanyl before?
Not on purpose, but I've woken up a couple hours later on the floor and shit, being like, wow, that wasn't my normal shit that I
right
do. But
crazy.
But yeah, I just wanted to shout out to all the fellow opiate addicts out there, and it's cool talking to you, Danny.
Yeah, dude, appreciate it, man. Good luck with all that, and yeah, call back soon, man.
All right, man. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Take care. Yeah, it's an interesting one. I've really always been fascinated by the kratom stuff. Maybe I'll avoid it. Hello. Thanks for calling Low Value Mail.
Danny, hey, it's Jim from Washington.
How are you, buddy? From Washington. How you doing, pal?
I'm doing good. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you. It's a little hard. I don't know if you're on like a...
is that better there?
Yeah, it's better. Sounded a little...
I was in my back bathroom there.
Oh, look at this guy. Got the back bathroom.
That's the perks of...
Things are going well for Jimbo.
We bought a house in the hood, buddy, like maybe 7 or 8 years ago. Yeah. We just got lucky.
And
it's good timing.
Why is it not the hood anymore?
Well, maybe 3 years ago. Well, that's just it. About 3 years ago, I was like, oh, it's happening. They put Starbucks in, and things really got different. So
nice.
It's amazing how that works. Yeah.
And now you got that bathroom to hang out and to avoid...
That's right. White women are good for something. Thank God for Starbucks. It's good.
So what's up? You have any predictions for the new year?
I think it's going to be a good year. I think it's going to be a pretty good year.
It's going to be a good year. I don't think anybody's said that yet. I don't think there's any positive sentiments.
Well, I without saying, I work in financial planning, and this has been a pretty rough year, as you're aware. So, looking forward to turning the page on that. But I don't know, man. I'm pretty hopeful about the future. Personally,
I mean, that's the thing. Long term, it's almost foolish to be negative on the future. Like
no kidding.
In any sort of long term thing, it's generally only short term. Like if you ever people who are like oh, this is the end of America. I'm like, yeah, good luck betting on that. First off, if you're right, what do you get out of it? Like, even if you're right, you're like, who cares? Congrats.
Yeah, and if you're betting, are you teaching your kids Mandarin if you're betting that way too? Like,
that's what I'm saying. You're like, yeah, exactly. But like the people who are like, betting on the nuclear bomb, and you're like, okay, well, if you're right about that, then who cares? Like, yeah, your bet paid off, but a nuclear bomb just dropped, so who cares?
That's right. Yeah, I was listening to your best of episode, just kind of working in the garage, and a kid brought up Pascal's wager on one of those calls you did where he was maybe mentioning suicide.
Yeah, that was the second episode. Yeah, that was
a good call you did, man. Kudos to you.
That was the second episode, and then you know what? So after that show, my girlfriend watched it, and she's like, my girlfriend's a therapist, and she's like, that's kind of similarly how I should handle it, but she's like, you should call him back to make sure he didn't kill himself. And I have like a different phone, like a different SIM card for the show versus my personal number. And then I was at home, and I was like, oh, I don't have the SIM card. It's at the studio. And then I texted him from my personal number, and he didn't get back to me for like 2 days. So then I was like, oh wow. No. And then he texted me back. He's like, yeah, I'm all good. Thanks. Like, all right.
That's good, man. Yeah. We've all been there. Yeah, it's tough being a young man these days. And one thing I was listening that maybe I've been meaning to ask you about this. I kind of thought about it. Have we, and maybe to the fellas in the chat, so the guy who brought on the young nanny, do you remember him?
Yes.
Have we ever heard from him? I'm putting out a bat signal. I want to hear from this fella. I want like an update on his story.
He showed up in the Patreon episode, I think either that night or the next night, because people didn't believe, I think that was him. That people like didn't believe he was a real caller, and I'm like, I swear, I'm like, that was like a.
I remember that. Yeah, he was like, I'm real.
Yeah, he's like, I'm real.
I want more after that.
Yeah, but no, I haven't heard back from him. I don't know. He's probably just been fucking slamming that nanny for the last 8 months and doesn't need us anymore.
She's pregnant with twins right now or something.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say that. God bless him. I shouldn't put that out there.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I've thought about that too. I go like, because I don't have a producer, like I just can't keep track of all this. I really should just jot down numbers but like eventually the numbers, like you lose them in your contacts or whatever. Like, so I can't figure it out. But I would like to know. Yeah.
You probably got Chad's number on speed dial, 69. Quick dial there.
I do have Chad's number on speed dial, the Chad phone.
Yeah, he's the man. Shout out to Chad.
Yeah, shout out to Chad. If people haven't heard, his song Light Switch dropped on Christmas Eve, if you want to check that out.
I was driving home from Idaho and was bumping that on the way.
There we go. Yes.
Yeah. Out here in the Northwest, baby. Keeping it fresh.
Love to hear it. Any New Year's resolutions?
Honestly, just try to be a little bit less of an asshole. I think we could all, do my best with that.
That is a pretty good, that is a pretty good one. I think generally anybody could use that. Even if think you're super nice, it's always fine to just tone it back a bit.
Sure. It's not even a SMART goal. I don't have to, I can't measure it or anything. I can just like generalize it and hope for the best. It's my kind of goal.
Yeah,
just rough target.
I think you could in a moment be like, I want to be an asshole right now, and I'm not, and like that, I might have won the year right there just for that one, like just because I wasn't an asshole right here, that's like one instance where I'm less of an asshole.
Well, I know you. I'm really down with the Jew thing of no hell. I like that.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah,
but I figure in life, like just be decent. And if there's like a ledger, like pluses and minuses, you better just hope you're on the plus column when things come down to it. You know what I mean?
Fully agree with you.
Got to be breaking even, man.
Yeah, fully agree. That's well said. All right, Jim. Thanks for calling in. Happy New Year.
Take care, Danny. Bye.
Jim from Washington, everybody. Let's see what's going on with the old. I know who this is, and we're going to speak into Chad shortly. Hello. Thanks for calling.
What?
Volume Mail. It's the Goob. This is the Goob, right?
What's up, Danny?
How you doing, buddy? Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
I saw your email. We got a little stand-up comedy.
No,
that's not comedy.
It's just a video.
Okay.
It's just a very strange video.
Okay. We're going to watch it in the after show. Not by you. It's called Poop Back and Forth Forever.
Forever.
Sounds nice. How's it going? How was your New Year?
It was good. It was good.
Excellent.
It was chill.
You been doing any comedy?
Not recently.
No.
I need to. Yeah,
Get back
you
on.
know.
Yeah, I feel it. So you must have some good predictions for the new year.
I think Jordan Peterson is going to end up in a mental hospital.
Interesting. I saw today actually that the Ontario board of like psychologists or whatever, psychiatrists, is trying to strip his license away, which I can't imagine he practices anymore. He can't be a practicing psychiatrist.
Well, they said he has to be re-educated.
Yeah,
right?
he has to take
If he-
social media re-education from the Ontario board.
Yeah, so I think that either he will he's already like breaking. I mean, he didn't really fully come back from his drug addiction.
Yeah.
And so he's either going to be driven crazy by all of this, or they're just going to like call him crazy, which will probably drive him crazy. And either way, he's going to end up.
I mean, I will
in a
say that
mental
the
hospital.
people who like him are very supportive of him. Like he hasn't, like I think the thing with him is there's so many people who honestly he helped so much that
Yeah, he was great before.
Yeah, but I'm saying like those people, they're like, he helped me so much 5 years ago, but like he helped people so much that those people like will not turn their backs on him.
Yeah. Yeah, he changed a lot of lives.
I think he did. Like you see it just, you know, in the comments and stuff and like on YouTube and Twitter and all that stuff where legitimately like he helped quite a bit. So, yeah, I don't know.
My other prediction is
yeah,
$12 eggs.
$12 eggs. Oh,
Yeah.
that's bleak. Well, I saw actually someone posted from somewhere in a Walmart a dozen eggs for $8.50 somewhere, which is crazy because
that's pretty much what it is here.
Man,
where I'm at.
You're in where, South Carolina or
Virginia?
Virginia, right?
Yeah.
Because in New York City, I don't know. I feel like New York City is the most expensive place, but maybe certain things are cheaper here, just due to like scale or whatnot. But like at Whole Foods in Brooklyn, which is you would think would be the most expensive place, you can get 18 eggs for $6.
It's happened really quickly here. So like 2 weeks ago, there were still stores that had them for like $2.
Okay.
And then like now, yeah, it's like $6 up.
Because I was gonna say I don't even like
It's
they're
crazy.
still organic eggs, but I'm like $6 for 18 eggs does not seem cheap at all. Although I was at like a CVS and like a bottle of like, you know, soda like Coke or whatever it's getting on $3 now, which I don't ever remember seeing for like a just retail price. It's like
I mean, you know that this was all like since high school, my litmus test for, you know, is the world financially fucked was the price of Arizona iced tea. And that changed a few months ago.
What is it at now?
Or they at least announced it. I don't know if it's officially changed or not.
I think it
but
went. I know it went up in Canada because for a long time in Canada
they definitely announced it. Though.
Yeah, they kept it at 99 cents. And then this crazy guy Frank D'Angelo, who I love, who if you don't know who Frank D'Angelo is, I've talked about him, but go check him out. He is the man. We watch it on the Patreon actually. He's like this. He's the guy who owns the rights to Arizona and Canada, but I think they raised the price there. Yeah, I guess it depends where you are. But you think somewhere is going to be $12 eggs. I agree. That was one of my predictions was higher inflation. So I think you're right on that.
That's why my New Year's resolution is chickens.
Chickens? You got chickens?
I want to. I want to get some chickens. It's a little cold. Well, I mean, actually, it's really warm here, but it should be cold still, winter. So
Yeah,
I'm
it's
going to wait
super
a
warm
month or two.
It's super
but
warm here. It's like 50.
It's 60.
Yeah, it's like 60, it's like 60 here too.
Yeah.
I was before I was preparing for the show and I was with the Greta and Andrew Tate and then I was looking at Greta her Twitter and she was saying she retweeted something how like in France, so somewhere right now in France it's like 24 degrees Celsius, which is like I guess I don't know 75, 80, something like
I
that.
thought
Like
you were saying it was cold.
No. It's super hot. No, see, the civilized world uses Celsius because that makes sense. I don't even use
But America is the world.
No. I know it is, and I make these calculations on the fly about what I think it might be in Fahrenheit because I still don't really I understand Fahrenheit, but I don't know the exact number, but my phone is still in Celsius.
It's a confusing system.
It just
I'll
doesn't
give
make
you that.
zero.
Fahrenheit
It freezes at 0.
32. What
Come
is
on.
that?
Come
Yeah.
on. Fuck that. All right, Goob. Thanks for calling. We'll catch you in the after show.
Yeah, man.
Take care. The Goob, everybody. Oh, let's give our boy Shen. All right. Yo, Chad. What's up, man?
What's going on, Danny? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. How are you?
I'm pretty good, man.
Excellent.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I'm just over here hitting the J.
Nice. As you do. I hope you heard the previous caller was bumping. How's the light switch release been going?
The light switch been going good, man. It's been getting some spins.
Nice.
I'm pretty happy with I was talking about last time how I was getting love from Australia, but now Ireland's coming up.
Oh,
so
we got the Irish lads.
Yeah.
You're gonna.
I can't figure that out.
Yeah, Mr. Worldwide over here. That's cool. Yeah. I mean, stuff spreads. I guess what's like the ideal scenario when you release a song right now? Like, is it you get put on like Spotify playlists and stuff? Like how do songs blow up? I always wondered, like, how do like SoundCloud rappers blow up? Is it just like word of mouth?
I really feel like it is, like, to a degree though. But then I feel like at some point, once you start getting them spins, and then like people realize that this song is getting me a lot of it. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's hope all the world for you. I guess.
Oh no, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going good though.
It's a great track. It's a great track. So, Chad, you got any?
Yes,
you got any predictions for the new year?
I do have a prediction.
All right, let's hear it.
All right. So my prediction is that I don't know if it's going to be like the very end of it, but I feel like because it's already in place. Like, I feel like the death blows are coming for like what Jordan Peterson would call legacy media.
Yeah.
Like CNN, like all them. I don't know. I don't really see how they can continue to make it. Like, when I be looking at their YouTube pages, like, their videos be having like thousands of views, and like sometimes
for sure. Well, that's the thing is, so the people who watch, I agree, I fully agree with you too, but like, yeah, the people who watch CNN are not on YouTube. Like that, the type of person who's like at home, just like getting their news from CNN, or right. like they're probably not big consumers of YouTube. So it's almost like it is, in the sense that, like, yeah, they're not only are they becoming less relevant and nobody trusts them anymore, but also like people are just getting older, and then new people are not. I mean, like, younger people probably don't have cable and like never will.
Yeah, I mean, and that's crazy because I used to watch CNN like every day.
Yeah, I used to watch it all the time too. I mean, I have cable, and I do watch it sometimes just to see what's going on. Generally, I'd say in the last 12 months, 50% of the times I've turned on CNN, they were talking about January 6th. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. Like, it's just like the January 6th news network. It's all they fucking talked about. And, but I'll always I'll go back and forth between like Fox and CNN just to see what's going on. But like, they'll report on a news story that I read on Twitter like 2 days ago. Like, Twitter is the source of the news. Like, if you're on Twitter and you follow like a wide variety of people, generally you should be able to find out something that happened within about 30 minutes of it happening. Like,
yeah, and then on Twitter you could find out about it and then become like the next Don Lemon out here.
Yeah, I mean, you can for sure. I mean, you can like, I mean, there's no shortage right now of people who are, like YouTubers and stuff who just put out like, something comes out and they put out their take, and it's, for people who are on YouTube, that's where they get their news from.
All right, man. Yeah, man. I don't know. I think it's got to be the end for him though. Like, I just see like YouTube like blowing up in a different way.
Yeah, YouTube does seem like I consume YouTube more than I ever have, for sure. And I definitely, the amount of people I know who are like in entertainment who are like taking YouTube way more seriously than they ever did. Like, it's really noticeable that people are like just
Right.
way more into it. And again, I mean, Trump was the death knell for all that stuff with all his calling them fake news and then being right. And then now all like the Twitter files, just nobody trusts them. And like, why would you? You have to be stupid to trust CNN.
Right.
It's
pretty much.
Yeah. You had any resolutions?
Resolutions, man. My resolution is not a resolution I don't really make New Year's resolutions, but I do plan to stop smoking so much weed. So,
You're trying to smoking more weed or less weed?
No, I want to smoke less. I don't think I could smoke any more weed. I think I've literally reached the limit. Like I'd be rolling. At one point, I was rolling like 10 J's at a time, just to have. So I didn't have to. Well, yeah, just so I didn't have to keep I pretty much had like a box of J's.
Yeah.
Like a box of cigarettes, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like almost like a humidor. Yeah. Do you ever take like kind of extended breaks? I always found when I was like really smoking a lot of weed, I still would take the odd break just to kind of give myself a little reset.
Manny, this is no exaggeration.
Yeah.
Before let me see. A couple of weeks ago, I took like an 8-day break.
Okay.
That was literally that break. And then I remember one time I took a 13-day break, maybe 7 years ago or something like that. Other than that, I've been smoking every day for literally the past 15 years.
Yeah. That's a lot.
Yeah. So I think it's time now.
Time. Yeah. You know what? It loses its I smoked a lot of weed for a long time too. It's just kind of just eventually. Not that I don't like weed, and I still smoke it, but it just loses its luster a bit, I guess. I don't know. I will say it's become appreciably less cool now that it's legal, and they're starting to open up dispensaries everywhere in New York and stuff, and you're like, I don't know, there's something slightly less cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, and I don't feel like I was ever doing it to be cool necessarily.
I'm not even saying to be cool, but it's just yeah.
Yeah, it don't seem like the thing to do though, right?
No.
Yeah, that's what I feel you.
Yeah. All right. Well, good luck with that. What's your? Do you have a plan for that, or just?
Well, yeah, sure. All right. So, I roll sheets, and then so I also roll it with funnel. You know about the funnel?
No.
Or what's called grabber?
No.
For anybody that knows, it's like smoking pretty much weed with tobacco.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I've been doing that for maybe the last probably 5 years or maybe a little longer.
You mix in tobacco with the weed, or it's just or you're rolling blunts?
Well, nah, I'm rolling. Like I said, I roll we got bamboo sheets.
Okay.
Big bamboo.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty much you would just get a sheet of tobacco, and then you would just dry it out, and then you would crumple it on top of the weed, and then different people use whatever amounts, but I mean if you use enough, it's going to be pretty much like a cigarette.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Don't you just smoke now?
I mean, yeah. Well, some people do though.
I had a friend a friend of mine who was trying to quit weed. This is probably 10 years ago, and he's like, yeah, I'm going to try and quit weed. So he's like, I'm just going to smoke. I can't remember what he said. He's like, I'm only going to smoke basically half and half, weed and cigarettes. Or no, he's trying to or was he trying to quit cigarettes? It was one of them. It was either trying to quit weed or cigarettes. And he's like, so I'm just going to smoke these half and half joints. He was smoking 25 of them a day. I'm just like, dude, this is not helping. You're better. I think you're consuming more of it now.
It better have been cigarettes he was trying to quit.
I think it was cigarettes, and then you're like, it was. He was trying to quit cigarettes, so he's like, I'm just going to be rolled, but he was still smoking weed, and he's like, I'm just going to put tobacco in my joints. But he was smoking so many joints a day at that point that I was like, to compensate for the fact that he didn't smoke anymore, that he just did smoke now.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah. All right. Well, good luck with that, Chad.
All right, man.
Nice talking to you, buddy.
Yeah.
Take care.
No.
Chad, everybody. I had a super chat that I missed. Tony P. Danny, as a rule, how much money should you have in savings at any given moment? I've heard half salary for 6 months, 6 months of expenses. I mean, as much as you can, I guess. I don't know any sort of particular rule of thumb, but I would say it's as much as you can sock away for a rainy day. Because if you listen to some of the fucking doomsayers on this show, there are going to be some rainy days ahead. Hello. Thanks for calling Low Value Mail.
Hey, Danny, it's Will.
Will, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Very good, very good.
Good. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
Right. So first, my prediction. I'm going to call this specifically.
Yeah.
I think the market's going to bottom out end of April, beginning of May.
Okay. Any reason particular, or just that's just your gut?
I think the first quarter numbers are going to come in about then.
Okay.
Employment's not going to be great. There's a correction in Q3. I think that led some optimism in Q4, but
okay. So you think there'll be a little optimism in Q3 that'll bring us in? All right.
Yeah.
Let's hope for it.
Yeah, we'll see. Anyway, so my New Year's resolution, or I guess my goal, is I want to have. Yes. No.
Did you ever? By the way, did you ever talk to Aaron?
No, I haven't.
Oh, okay. So for people who don't know, for people just to catch people up to speed, William called in on the bathhouse, and then Aaron, who is the mayor of this town in Colorado, and then the mayor was like, "We need a new city manager because they fired the city manager who's making all this money." And then you said that you might want to be the city manager.
Yes, and I might want to be. My girlfriend looked the town up and said it's really flat and not mountainous like she likes. So.
But I thought it's right near Denver.
I need. Yeah, that's what I thought too. So I need like a tourism brochure, but their Google images like default. What comes up? Not appealing.
He said that it's closer to the Denver airport than Denver is. Is that not enough? Yeah. Is that not enough to know that there's going to be some mountains somewhere around there?
I think so. Maybe a city manager could, improve their tourism materials.
I think so. Yeah. I think so. I mean, honestly, I just want you to be the city manager so that I can take responsibility for it.
I would gladly give you responsibility.
Yeah, that would be hilarious if you landed a...
Maybe I built some mountains.
Yeah, or just blow up some ground and have like kind of underground, like just if you build enough craters, it'll seem like there's mountains.
That's not a bad idea.
It's a really bad idea. But yeah, well, hopefully that works out. So anyways, your resolutions for the year.
Right. So here's the end game. I want to pay off all my credit card debt by April.
Okay.
Then start investing when the market hits bottom.
Yeah.
Why not? Then be good enough financial position to get a pool table and a CCW for Illinois.
What's a CCW?
Concealed and carried weapons license.
Oh, nice. Do you have a gun?
Yeah, I do. I got a couple.
But you don't have the license for them.
So I have a FOID card, firearms ownership identification.
Okay.
But to actually bring it around under my waistband or whatever, you need the CCW.
Right.
I'd like take it in my car, bring it to the range, whatever.
Yeah, go to a Bulls game or something.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be able to bring it to a Bulls game, but it's going on about bring it to work. Like my office building allows them.
I guess that's you're in the legal profession. You're a lawyer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's not a bad thing for lawyers to carry guns because sometimes you make enemies.
Yeah, no, my firm actually doesn't label. We don't have name tags on the doors for lawyers' offices.
Because
all the cubicles and stuff are marked, but sometimes people come in upset.
Yeah, you've kind of ruined their life and whatnot, or at least they think they ruin their life, but they think you ruin their life.
I really don't. I mostly do M&A, small to mid-scale mergers. So a lot of times it's somebody's retiring and just trying to get a retirement fund off their business, or a young family's starting out on a new business. It's a lot more feel good than litigation stuff.
Oh, okay. So, but you still feel the need to bring a gun to work?
Well, yeah, I live outside Chicago.
Why not? Yeah, right. Are carjackings a big thing there?
Not in the area where my office is, but I don't always drive through the nicest neighborhoods to get there.
Gotcha. That was a weird thing in this past summer in Toronto. Was carjackings were out of control. It was insane. Actually, this player on the Toronto Maple Leafs, the day after they got eliminated from the playoffs, got carjacked.
Really?
Yeah, Mitch Marner.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
You do some stuff reflexively. When I get stopped at a red light, I always stay a car length back or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, that is, again, that's just kind of smart to a degree. Just awareness of your surroundings. I always thought to myself when I was driving, I'll never be the person, because any intersection I ever drove through in my life, I always look both ways. Like, I'm never like, you see those people who like get T-boned because they're just like assuming that nobody's going to run a red light. And I'm just like, I never assume that. I almost assume the opposite. I assume every time going through a green light that someone's going to run the intersection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or what's known if like someone's coming from my left and they have their right turn signal on.
Right.
I'll still wait to make sure that they're not just driving with it on like an idiot.
Yeah, exactly. And
I'm not
you're
gonna turn out in
going
front of
to
them.
T-bone them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta watch out. All right, cool. Well,
all right.
All the best with that, and let us know if you talk to Aaron and take that job.
Thanks, Danny. I'll look him up and maybe throw in an application there.
All right, thank you.
Bye.
Will from Chicago area. We got another call. All right, we got 10 more minutes here for the first episode of 2023 Low Value Mail. Hello. Thanks for calling Low Value Mail.
Taylor from Texas.
Taylor from Texas. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. So since you guys were just talking about the in Texas we call it a license to carry.
Okay.
My prediction is that this year 3 more states will enact constitutional carry. Because I think we're up to like 25 right now.
Okay. And why 3?
Just at the rate that it's been going, because I think we had 5 last year.
And what exactly is constitutional carry? Is that you're you're allowed to carry based on the Constitution, not the state laws?
Correct. It is a state law, but it's basically that the state doesn't require you to have a license to carry a firearm concealed in public.
Do you have to have a license for the firearm in any way?
Most states no. Some states will have like where you have to have the serial number on like a registry, but that's a state by state kind of basis. Like Texas, you don't have any of that.
So how does it work to walk me through buying a gun if I move to Texas tomorrow and I wanted to buy a gun?
If you're a resident of Texas and your driver's license address is correct, is where you live, because that's going to be like you'd have to move here, change your get a Texas driver's license or a Texas state issued ID with the correct address on it. You walk into Academy, you say I want to buy that gun. You fill out a background check. As long as you pass, you pay for the gun and you walk out.
And why do you say correct address? Like, do they look up to make sure you live where you say you live?
Well, that'll like red flag if like you probably won't pass the background check if you've got like, well, for one, the address you put on the background check has to match the license you're going to give them. If it doesn't, they won't see the gun.
Yeah, that I understand. But like, so say me, I'm from Canada, right? Like I don't even have New York ID. I still have my Ontario driver's license. I've never updated it. But say I move to Texas and I go, I'd like a Texas driver's license. And I get an address. How would they do a background check on me? I'm not even a citizen of this
Since
country.
you're not a U.S. citizen, I don't know how easy it would be for you.
Oh, okay.
I know that if you, like, for instance, if you're not a resident of Texas, you cannot buy a handgun very easily in Texas. You can only buy a long gun, a rifle or shotgun.
Okay.
I think that might be similar for...
Can I buy an AR-15? Does that count?
An AR-15 is considered a rifle, yeah.
Rifle. Okay, so I could buy one of those.
Right. So, I mean, the biggest thing that most people get wrong when you're listening to stuff is automatic versus semi-automatic.
Yeah, I know it's not. Yeah, I know that. So, I know an AR-15 is not like this insane.
You can buy a normal AR-15 would be fine. But Texas had it, I think, last year or this year, and I think 5 other states added it this year. So we're up to roughly half the country has constitutional carry. In Texas, you still can get, like, I have a license to carry. You can still get a license. And, like, the great thing about it, if I get pulled over by a police officer, I hand them both, my license and my driver's license, because at that point, even if I'm not carrying a firearm, my license to carry is basically a state and federal background check.
Right. It's like it's a background. Right. So.
Right. I'm like, hey, here's my driver's license, here's my insurance, and here's a state and federal background check on me.
Just so you know, nothing fishy is going on. How often do you have to get those redone?
I think it's every 6 years in Texas.
Okay. So it's somewhat.
But it's different by state. Yeah. And actually, that's something that I'm hoping passes Congress. I don't think will pass anytime soon, but is recidivism for license to carry. Like the way if you have a Texas driver's license, you can drive in any state. in the United States.
Yeah.
And they recognize that driver's license as you being able to drive. That's not the case everywhere for license to carry.
Oh, so if you can't
states.
just bring your gun to a different state.
Right. Like I have a service that I pay for that's like a yearly fee that provides me a lawyer if I'm ever in a defensive shooting, and basically also has like a lawyer hotline. So if I'm ever going to travel to a different state and be like, hey, what's up with this state's gun laws? What do I need to know?
Oh, crazy. So you could just call them up being like, hey, I'm going here. Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. I've seen tons of shows where like someone didn't like some of those like border security shows where someone like didn't know that they couldn't bring a gun into Canada. Because they were like coming from like, Montana or something, or like Washington State,
right.
Like Oregon, and they're like, yeah, I didn't know I could do that. Like, you can't fucking bring a gun into Canada.
Yeah, no, of course. And obviously, like if I'm going to travel anywhere, I would call up that place and be like, yeah, no, you can't. I'm sure a lawyer would politely educate me on why. But
yes.
Yeah, they'd probably be like, yeah, you can't take a gun to Canada.
Yeah, and save you a lot of hassle and arrest and money and all sorts of stuff. In the process.
But New Year's resolutions. Yeah. I'm actually going to give a shout out. I think they're still a sponsor of, at least on the Boys Cast, is Fitbod. I got the Fitbod thing late into 2021. I think I did it like 100 workouts last year.
Nice, congrats.
About an hour and a half a piece. I got a little home gym I started building back in like 2020. And so this year I'm shortening the workout to like half an hour, 45 minutes, but I'm going to try to do it 6 days a week.
Oh, congrats! Yeah, that's 6 days a week is to get just moving is just some people just I find you get really caught up in a certain life. You're working and just all this shit, and some people just like you never
I'm
move.
in my 30s.
Yeah,
and I've recently and when I was 30 years old, I weighed like roughly 260 at my heaviest.
Oh wow!
And currently I'm 175.
Nice. Oh, dude, that's huge.
So
that's not
it took
huge.
a couple of years. Yeah, it took a couple of years, and now I've got a 6-month-old daughter, so I'm trying to make sure I stay healthy for that.
Yeah, for sure. There's this guy Peter Attia who I like. He does podcasts and stuff. He's like this. He's a doctor or whatever, but he does a lot of podcasts. But he talks about he does all these workouts where it's just like a lot of the point of them is just being able to like carry a child when you're 80, because he's like, I think he's like 50 or something. But he says like there's all these things where like old people like they just die from just falling down,
just moving, right?
Yeah, he's just it's just these basic things that like and they you can't pick up a kid and like
and it's fast. My great grandmother lived to be 106, wow. And when she finally went, it was like 6 months. I mean, she was up walking around. I literally have a really funny picture of her. Actually, my Twitter account is a picture of her when she was 101 with her arm broken from playing softball, smoking a hookah.
What? She played softball when she was 101?
Yeah, she was the oldest person on the church's 55-plus team.
That's amazing. I mean, she might have been the oldest softball player of all time.
Yeah, it wasn't much to watch, but
yeah, whatever. I mean, you got out there. I mean, I fucking injured myself at the gym yesterday. I'm 39.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. Cool, buddy. Thanks for calling in. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah. Thank you. All right, we got time for one more call. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us on this first episode of Low Value Mail 2023. I am excited for what we have coming up this year. And, of course, we got a after show starting in about 15 minutes' time. What we're going to talk about, I have no idea. Hello. Thanks for calling Low Value Mail.
Hey, Danny. How you doing?
Good. How are you? Who am I speaking with?
Good. This is Charlie from Florida.
Charlie from Florida. How you doing, pal?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm well. So what's up?
I was just listening to that call. It's pretty cool. My grandmother is actually, I have a grandmother that's 92.
Yeah.
She golfs like 3 times a week. She still drives, lives on her own.
Dude, if I can golf when I'm in my 90s, I will be
92,
so
dude.
pumped.
Isn't that insane?
That's amazing. Does she walk? She doesn't walk the course, though.
No, oh yeah, she plays with like guys in their 70s, and they're like, "You're not 92, are you?"
That's amazing that she can walk a course. That's incredible.
Oh, it's nuts.
Dude,
so like, yeah, I mean, I guess like the thing is, if I'm 43, and I take pretty good care of myself, and I'm hoping that I get some of her genes, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, genetics play a lot in a lot of this stuff, so it's a good start.
I guess the point is, like, if you take good care of yourself, you could have a better quality of life, even when you're her age. It's crazy.
That is true. Yeah. Did she take really good care of herself?
Oh yeah. But I think she has good genetics too. Like, I think that has a lot to do with it. Like, cause some people, some people won't do anything. They won't do any bad stuff, and they'll get diseases when they're younger and stuff like that. And then other people smoke cigarettes and live to be like 110.
Yeah, I know. There's honestly like, you see like super like, super athletic people that just like drop dead, and you're like,
yeah, it's crazy.
There's nothing you can do. So any predictions for the year?
Well, I'm pretty positive for the most part. I mean, there's a lot you could be negative about, but but I think I think it's going to be a good year for certain things. I think for some reason, I don't know why, but I think comedy, it's going to be a good year for comedy.
I hope so. I love comedy.
Like, I think a lot of people have a sense of humor, and they want to go out and laugh and just forget about crazy shit, and so I think it'll be a good year for that. I think the Bill Cosby impression is going to come back.
I mean, he's coming back on tour apparently.
Yeah.
So
that's pretty.
Definitely
all he needs
coming
is
back.
Harvey to come with him or something. I was like,
yeah, we'll see about that. And any resolutions you got?
Well, I'm just taking better care of myself. I'm actually getting back into martial arts. I did that for 15 years, and I stopped for a little bit. Now I'm getting back into it, and I really love doing that. So,
Nice.
and I made a career change. I'm going back to school to do physical therapy. I was in the medical field for 13 years, but not physical therapy. So now I'm going back.
And what made you decide to do that?
Well, I was working in cardiac rehab for a while, and just a lot of the stuff going on with the COVID and all that became like really stressful, like working in the hospital and stuff like that. And I because of all those things and the measures and everything, like I kind of just got like sick of it after a while. And I figured I wanted to do like work in a doctor's office, more like in a doctor's office. There's not too many measures. It's a little bit easier to, and it's not as invasive,
For sure. Yeah. Physical therapy.
Going back to school, it's weird going back to school later, but like in your 30s and 40s. But it's it's fun.
They really say it always, like when you're older, you're like, it does seem like you're like, you can't do this, but then there's no shortage of stories of people doing stuff like that where they're like, I went to people like go to medical school and they're like 40 years old or something, like,
right?
Totally change careers, and you're like,
my dad
really can be done.
My dad's 67. He's a cardiologist, and he's still working. He wants to work another 10 years. But one of his friends went to school when he was just about my age. He was 38, and he decided to become a doctor at 38. He went to school and became a surgeon.
Wow.
And he's still a surgeon now. But he just decided at 38, like I don't know what he did before that, but he's just like, I think I'm just gonna be a surgeon. And he went to school and became a surgeon. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it can be done. All right, thank you for calling. I appreciate it.
Thanks. Have a big New Year.
To you too. All right, everybody, that has been the show. Episode, what number was this? 46, but episode number 1 of 2023. That's been it. Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in. I appreciate you all very much, everybody who watches the show, subscribes, likes, all that stuff. If you want to catch the after show, we're going to start in about 10 minutes. You can sign up over on patreon.com/lowvaluemail. You can hit the join button below on YouTube, become a scrote, or if you're watching over on Rumble and you're more of a locals person, you can sign up lowvaluemail.locals.com. I will be there in 10 minutes. We'll see you all next week. And don't forget, tomorrow night, brand new episode of The Bathhouse live from the green room of the Stand Comedy Club in New York City, 10 p.m. Those have been very fun. I've been enjoying those a lot. I love you all. Thank you for joining me again. And we got our outro from my boy Chad. Light switch. Have a good night, everybody. See some of you soon. See the rest of you next week.
Empathic abilities, my face be also stoic. Bleep blow up, nigga, that just means I'm working. They see me as a leader, so that's why I'm Captain Kirkin. These tracks from the stars, that much is for certain. You can feel this hit if you up or if you hurt. I'm raising my stock, not talking my feet in some Birkin. Number Johnny 5 got a fucking short circuit. Bring the track to life when I spit phenomenal. When I hit, she feel that shit in her abdominals. These rappers make me laugh like comic view, they comical. You know I got a ball out, I hit the track running just like Sonic do. They don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah, they was trying to get me on my hype shit. Yeah, they don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah, and they tried to down me on some KO type shit. Yeah, they don't wanna wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah. Now we pulling up fresh on some flight shit. They don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah. They don't wanna turn on my light switch. They don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah. They was trying to get me on my hype shit. Yeah. They don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah. Then they tried to down me up some KO type shit. Yeah. They don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah. Pulling up fresh on some